Hey guys, I'm going to share with you a nose contouring hack that is all the rage on social media. I have recently been using this technique and I really like it for narrowing my nose in a really easy way. So here's the thing, I'm Hungarian. This girl has got a Hungarian nose. It's a little bit long. It could be a little more narrow. So the easiest way to do that is contouring, okay? So I'm gonna show you what this technique is that I've been seeing, and I made a little adjustment myself, which I think makes it easier to do. You're going to need 2 makeup brushes for this. I am using a Morphe M213. You will want a brush that has the most narrow handle that you can find or that you have in your collection. And then you will also need a fluffy brush like this one right here. It's pretty large on top, and that's what we're going to use for our actual contour. And for the contour color, I'm using my very favorite go-to every day, the Charlotte Tilbury, what is it called? Film Star Bronze and Glow, the face sculpt and highlight, and the color that I use is fair medium, and you have your contour as well as your highlight. So basically all we're doing is we are using this to create the perfect line. The only adjustment that I'm making is I am taking a little bit of my Laura Mercier translucent powder, putting a little bit on my finger, and I'm going to just put a little bit on top of the brush where I know it's going to hit my nose. And the reason that I'm doing that is because depending on what type of foundation you wear, whether it's a long lasting or something that's a little more dewy, once this hits the tip of your nose, it could actually make that foundation move around a bit. So you'll see how this works really well. So I've got the powder on my brush. We're going to put the brush here right on the center of the nose, and I'm dipping my other brush. You can see all of the bronzer in there. So you're just gonna hold this here, go over your nose with the brush several times. And that's why we're using a nice thick wide brush, because we're able to hit both sides of the nose with it. Just kind of make sure it's nice and blended. And then we're going to take that off. And now you can see we've got a defined line here and here, and it is a little lighter here in the center. And you're seeing a little bit of that powder residue left over on the center of my nose, because I put it here on the brush. I'm gonna take a little bit more because we've narrowed the nose right here. That was a super easy hack, right? But now I want to shorten the nose as well. So I'm gonna go in here on the tip to just make it look a little bit shorter. And then the other thing that I like to do is I take the same brush, actually, or we can do a small brush, but I'm gonna make this easier on you, and we're just gonna use 2 brushes because we don't need to use 3. So I'm gonna take this same big fluffy brush, dip it in my contour, but then I'm gonna like pinch it and fan it out so that it gets as thin as possible. And I'm gonna hit this portion of my nose right here, because here's a really cool trick. If you put a little bit of contour right here where you've got a little bit of the tip showing, you can kind of give yourself the illusion of having that cute turned up button nose that I do not have naturally. So I'm fanning this out, and I'm just putting a little bit right here. Now you can see there's more of a line. And then I'm just gonna kind of dust off the same brush with a Kleenex, and I'm gonna hit the highlight color here just a little bit. And now I'm gonna ever so slightly hit the tip of my nose. And again here at the top, I'm not touching that center part that I just added some contour to, just here and here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and dust this brush off again. And now I'm just gonna kind of go around the edges a little bit and make sure that it all looks nice and blended, but you can see that now my nose looks a little shorter, a little more narrow, and it was super easy. And the hack is using a thin brush here. The handle of the brush is what is helping you to do it very precisely and very quickly. Again, just adding the powder to it keeps your foundation from moving around. So that's my personal hack and something that I do. But just remember, when you're contouring, the idea of contouring is that what we are using the dark shade for, dark makes things to be recessed, right? So what we want to see less of, we're creating a shadow by using that dark shade. And then by using the highlight shade, we are trying to accentuate what we want to bring out and see more of. So you can see that the contour shade makes it look more narrow, and the highlighted shade just gives a little more light and makes that pop a little bit more. So anyway, that's a cool hack that I've been seeing, I've been using. I really like the way that it works. So give it a try and let me know if you like it too.